Hi, I'm Justin, and this is Whiskey and Rides. So I recently decided this summer I wanted to start doing some moto vlogging on my motorcycle trips. And so I went out and bought myself a GoPro Hero 9. Got it home, loved the camera, but quickly realized I was going to need some accessories. Started looking around on the GoPro official site and saw some of the pieces were pretty expensive, and I really wasn't sure what I needed. I don't know if I was ready to make that kind of investment yet. So I turned to Amazon. On Amazon, I started fishing around and I found this 65-in-1 accessory kit. The reviews were pretty good, so I thought, you know what, let's try this out. I've spent $50 on worse. If it's absolute garbage, I can always send it back. So let's take a look and see what came. Here it is. 65-in-1 comes with what appears to be fairly reasonable case and chocked full of goodies. So here we are, the 65-in-1. All sorts of bits and bobs that came with it. From what I can tell so far, some of them fairly good, some of them probably absolute junk, and they're probably not going to touch my camera. Let's have a quick look through them. So first, we have the case. The case itself seems fairly strong, reliable. I definitely can see myself using this. When we start getting into some more of the bits, first thing that I saw was this little tripod. Pretty flimsy, kind of thing you'd maybe get at a trade show or whatnot. I don't think I'd put my $500 camera on it, but certainly maybe for a cheap light or just to hold something up. The next thing I saw was this little yellow bobber. Now, this is pretty neat. So basically a selfie stick that if you hook your camera onto it, drop it in the water, it's going to float and your camera's not going to sink to the bottom of the lake. So I think that'll be coming in handy. Got this little gator clip, and at first I really wasn't sure what I'd use this for, but had a look at it, this top part actually turns. And I think what I'd probably most likely use this for is clipping onto a backpack. But you could also clip it onto a table, a counter, a bar, set your camera on there, and off to the races you go. So that in itself is pretty cool. For some reason, they included what I think is a cell phone holder. I'm not sure why I want that for my GoPro, but it is there. Next piece, not necessarily a big fan of this, but a suction cup. Now, if I'm going to put the suction cup on the front of my bike or the front of my car, probably not going to use this. It does seem a little flimsy. From what I can tell, it doesn't really stick all that well. There we go. But you know what? Maybe inside the car on a counter, just so it doesn't fall over, somewhere like that. That might be a nice little piece to have. The selfie stick. Now, this is interesting. It pulls out quite far, seems to have some decent reach. The locking mechanism's a little flimsy. I'm not a big fan of that. Seems like it would break pretty easy. And the stick itself, pretty flimsy. So I don't think I'm going to be trusting my camera on this in too many situations. But you know what? At close range, that might do the trick. And to get started, why not? I saw this little piece and I really wasn't sure what this was. But it appears that it's a strap. Ah, Velcro strap. So maybe flip it through there. That might be good for tying up some cables or something. So definitely find a use for that. The next piece, this is pretty cool. I've wanted one of these. I've seen guys use these. And that is a chest harness. So I'm sure this is going to be all sorts of fun to get on, but the clips seem fairly solid. The front plate's in pretty good shape, and we can slide all sorts of different adapters in there. So I'm sure I'm going to get a bunch of use out of that. The next thing, handlebar mount. So I ride a Harley Davidson. I don't know if this is actually going to work on the handlebars or not, but certainly on a mountain bike or something like that, kids bike for sure, this would be great. Seems fairly solid. Seems to be what the old school GoPro mount was like. I know they've changed it since, but I think I'll use that. It seems like it's a fairly solid build. This one, I'm not really sure what it is. I can only assume it's for maybe a backpack, a different style chest mount, but whatever it is, it's there. This one's pretty cool. This is a wrist mount. Now, I don't know a lot of guys who are wearing their cameras on their wrists, but there's some pretty sticky Velcro there. Goes around. And the cool part about this is this little piece up the top here, this can actually rotate. So if you did have it sitting on your wrist and you wanted to maybe look at a certain place that you're riding your bike, you could aim it up at your face or wherever you want it to be. So that's a pretty cool piece of kit. It did come with this little orange floaty. I'm assuming it's a floaty. Seen a few of these around, but seems like they had to get to 65 somehow, so they included that. And then, of course, they included a whole slew of sticky pads, not 3M from what I can tell, knockoff, but will probably do the job. I don't know if we'll put them anywhere critical. And a bunch of curved and flat mounts. So those are always helpful. Great to have those around. Second last thing they included in this 65-in-1 kit is a little wallet. It looks like you put your ND filters in here, maybe your SD cards, something small. Keep it with you. And then what I think makes this whole kit worthwhile, in addition to all these great little pieces, is you get a pile of connecty bits. So you get some threaded ones, some standards, a whole bunch of thumb screws, the elongated ones, and of course a couple of these shorties. Overall, I think this is a great little kit, other than a couple pieces that seem to be a little mediocre and I don't know if I would be using. I would say it's well worth it. Buying this $50 kit to get started, see what's going to happen and see what I'm actually going to use before investing in the high-end GoPro models. So that's what we have for today on these pieces. One more thing, the case. So the case itself is pretty good. But one complaint I do have is this cheap little insert. I don't know what the hell this is. They kind of took the time to laser cut it, but I couldn't find anything that actually fit in there properly. So this is going straight into the trash. What I'm going to do is cut my own foam insert there from some foam I have laying around, and we will get this set up properly for hauling some stuff around. Anyway, thanks for tuning into the channel. If you like what you see, like, subscribe. We're going to try to have a lot of new content coming up this year.